Hello everyone. So welcome to my channel. Right, this is MICUP with Patrick, and basically in this particular video, I want to discuss something very important regarding media buying, and this is born out of the very many questions I get from some of my friends once in a while, right, regarding media buying. So I'm going to be making this video in relations to this question. So once again, my name is Patrick Ezeji, and I've got a decade plus of experience in digital marketing. So this simply means that I've practiced on several areas of digital marketing, right? Talk about the website design, the search engine optimization, and media buying also, right? So yeah. So once again, I'm going to be doing this in about 10 questions, 10 bullet points. Yeah, so these are some of the questions that some of my friends had asked me in the past, and I want to do justice to all of that. So, how do you build a career in digital media buying come 2025? So, once again, it doesn't matter when you are seeing this video. I guarantee that this video will still be as relevant to you when you are seeing it, like when it was made, right? So if you're watching this video in 2025, let's say January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December 2025, I guarantee that all of the information I'm sharing in this particular video will still be as relevant as when it was made, right? Yeah, so now let's get right into it, guys, and then of course I will show you one or two things. So once again, I've got a good years of experience with media buying, and I've earned pretty much a good sum also as a media buyer, and that is why I feel so confident about the fact that building or growing a career or investing your hard time into growing a digital media buying career is going to be worth it at the end of the day, right? Now let's get to this. So the very first and obvious question is, what is media buying, right? So people get to ask me this question also a lot of time. Patrick, what exactly is media buying, right? And then I say media buying is simply the purchase of advert slots or spaces on media platforms. So yeah, you need to understand this. You need to understand this, guys. Buying advertising slots on channels, on platforms like Facebook, like LinkedIn, like Twitter, X, like TikTok, like Google display platforms or Google search platforms, Google performance max platforms, Google video platforms, and maybe Google shopping, Google merchant center platform, and all of that, right? If you buy a space on these platforms, that constitutes media buying, right? So basically, media buying is simply buying advertising slot or spaces on digital media platforms. So sometimes I like to add digital to the whole information, because I if I limit this to media buying alone without adding digital to it, that would simply mean that I'm bringing in already print media, radio media, and maybe TV, and maybe print media like newspaper and the rest of them into it, right? Because if you buy a space or a slot on these platforms also, that exactly is media buying as well, right? But when we say media buying in this particular case, we simply mean digital, right? Digital media buying. So please apologies, let me sip some water, right? Yeah. All right. So now, why is media buying very critical in today's digital landscape, right? Yeah, so there are different strategies, different digital marketing strategies by which businesses or business owners can get results, by which businesses or business owners can get results for themselves. And search engine optimization, guys, is actually one big strategy by which businesses can get results courtesy of organic visibility. So when a business optimizes their platform, their presence on search, they get search results, they get search conversion, right? People converting as leads or as sales on their platform courtesy of search, right? So if a guy makes a search for SEO expert in Lagos, you most likely will see my name, right? Patrick Ezeji. So if a guy clicks on that, yeah, let's put that into practice. So a guy searches for let's say SEO expert in Lagos, Nigeria, for example. Yeah, look at Patrick Ezeji right here, ranking on number 1 for a website belonging to my employer, right? Yeah, so this is Patrick Ezeji here, SEO expert in Lagos, and this is what businesses actually do if they're looking for results online, right? Yeah, so businesses can optimize their website, their platforms for organic visibility to get organic results. And when this happens, they get leads or they get sales also from doing this, right? Yeah. So, but what if they want to get results in the quickest possible time? What if the whole idea is to get them results in 3 months, in 4 months? This is where search engine optimization isn't going to work, right? SEO will obviously fail in this regard, and what will work for them in this regard will be PPC, right? Pay per click advertising, right? So when a man when a company runs their campaign on PPC platforms like Facebook, like LinkedIn, like Twitter, right? It becomes media buying, right? So they get results immediately, right? They get results immediately, and this also can help them get results in 3 months, in 4 months, or thereabouts. And this is why media buying is very critical in today's digital landscape. Why? It helps businesses get results in the quickest possible time. I hope this makes sense to you. So businesses are on the lookout for media buyers who can help them run their campaigns and get them results as quickly as possible. And that is why it is a career I highly recommend that you pursue. I am pursuing it myself. I'm into SEO, media buying, and a host of other things in digital marketing. Why wouldn't I do that? For a guy that has spent a decade, 10 years in digital marketing, you should expect that I have a sizable knowledge in all areas of digital marketing. So once again, it doesn't matter when you're watching this video, it doesn't matter at what particular time you eventually decide to click on this video to watch it, right? This knowledge will still be as relevant as and when the video was made. So now moving on to the second question, what skills do you need to succeed as a media buyer in 2025? So once again, this brings me to the previous discussion I had, to the previous comment I made, right? There are different digital media platforms, there are different media buying platforms, and this obviously will help you understand which of these you want to pursue, right? It wouldn't be a bad idea, right, if you are a generalist. I mean, you do all forms of media buying, right? So yeah, what are the various skills you need to develop as a media buyer to succeed in 2025? So let me share my screen once again, and when I share my screen and I show you this, you should understand this when I explain this further. Yeah, so the very first skill I highly recommend that you should grow is website design skill, right? Website design skill is advisably good for a media buyer. So develop a skill around website design. And when I say website design, I simply mean you mustn't be an expert in website designing. You should have a sizable experience, a sizable number of experience or years of experience with website design. You should have a working experience with website design, right? Because you don't want to be the media buyer or the digital media buyer who doesn't really care if a campaign does well or not, right? Obviously, when you run your campaign across platforms, you will drive traffic to your client's website. So while some clients don't necessarily want you to handle website designing also, it becomes very important that you have at least a good knowledge of what a website looks like, what their website will look like, if it's going to be converting or it is not going to convert, right? So sometimes some websites are poorly built, and as a media buyer, you stand a better chance to advise the client to make some changes to the website, or simply leave the structure of the website as it is currently, right? So if you don't have a knowledge of website design, you may not actually know how this is done eventually, right? Yes, so this is very important. You should have a good knowledge of website designing in order to do well, right? In order to do well in media buying. So website design skill, landing page design skill also is very important right here. So yeah, the next thing, the next skill you should have, so the very first skill obviously is website design, right? Yeah, website designing is very important. You should have a skill around website designing and landing page design also. And of course, this brings me to CRO, conversion rate optimization. You should have a knowledge around conversion rate optimization also, because you are also going to be helping out in ensuring that the various and very important conversion elements are imputed on the website, right? So you stand a better chance also to test out hypotheses on the website. Will live chats work better? Will pop-up forms work better? Will push notification work better, and the rest of them, in order to help us get conversion from our campaign? Yeah. So once again, website design skill, landing page design skill, CRO optimization skill are very important skills that you should have as a media buying person, right? So yeah, moving on from here, we've got understanding your ideal audiences. So in order to do well with media buying, you must know how to craft a simple customer avatar. You must know how to craft a simple customer avatar document, right? You must understand your ideal audiences, which is a skill on its own. If you don't understand your ideal audiences, you may not be able to run a successful media buying campaign, right? Very important. And the next skill is understanding Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter advertising. So yeah, once again, this brings me to the types of media buying. There are different types of media buying that you can get yourself into, and once again, you can actually do every one of them if you are confident in your abilities to learn fast and to do things as quickly as possible, right? So we have social media buying platforms. We have the Google media buying platforms, right? So for the social media buying platforms, we have the likes of Facebook advertising, we have Instagram advertising, we have LinkedIn advertising, we have Instagram advertising, we have TikTok advertising, we have Pinterest advertising, Snapchat advertising, and a host of other social media buying platforms, right? Yeah, so if you want to focus on social media buying platforms, that is completely nice, right? That is completely acceptable in the industry, right? So if you want to focus also on Google platforms like the search platforms, the display platforms, the performance marks, the YouTube platform, and of course Discover platform also, that also is completely nice, right? Yeah, that is completely also very nice. But advisably, as an expert myself, I would simply say it wouldn't be a bad idea to know social media buying platforms or understand how they work and how it can help your clients get results on social media, and of course also understanding how the Google platform also work and how to help your clients get results from Google display platform, search, performance marks, discovery, merchant center, and YouTube. So knowing how to run all these types of campaign, right, either on search, on display, on PM, on YouTube, on discovery, on merchant, or on social media platforms, is actually a big skill that you can have right, as a media buying person, right? Yeah, so apart from these skills also, what other skill do you need? Yeah, advisably, a skill around social media management, the anatomy of a good looking social media platform, and of course also how to set up a simple social media platform and how to manage it also wouldn't be a bad idea, right, as an added skill to your media buying journey or career journey. Just as website designing, landing page design, and CRO is also an added skill to you as a media buying person, that is how also social media management also is an added skills. And if you know how to make those videos yourself without necessarily getting a third party to do them, because you have the original idea of what a campaign should look like, and if you know how to do your stuffs, your videos, it becomes an added advantage to you also, right? Yeah, so SEO and content writing isn't much of a thing for media buying. Yeah, so you don't necessarily need to concern yourself with organics, right? Media buying is not organic. It is simply paid, right? So sometimes we call it media buying, or we call them paid campaigns, right? Media buying platforms or paid media platforms, right? Yeah, so moving on from here, we've talked about the skills you need to grow in order to succeed as a media buyer, right? So now, what other thing do we need to look out for here, right? So the next question I have from my friends usually is, uh, how does media buying differ across platforms like Google Ads, Facebook Ads, uh, TikTok ads, and the rest of them? Yeah, I've mentioned that already just now, right? These platforms are actually different. One platform is for social, and the other platform also is simply Google, display search, performance max, merchant center, which is the shopping ads, and the discovery, and the rest of them, right? So yeah, so these are the difference between various platforms, right? The search platforms and the Google platforms, right? So now, moving on from here, the next question I have here is, just a minute. So what tools and technologies are essential for media buyers to master? Yeah, so tools that allows you to create your creatives, I mean to make your creatives, obviously, like Canva, like Adobe Premiere Pro for video making, Adobe Illustrator for image design or graphic design, Photoshop are also very important. If you know how to use these skills, these tools, yeah, those becomes added advantages to you as well, right? So yeah, these are some of the tools you should master to use. For instance, Canva allows you to design beautiful images or creatives for your campaign, and maybe the lookalikes of Canva. If you have a tool that looks like Canva or that can work the same way like Canva, yeah, that becomes important, right? Yeah, so get yourself to master some tools that allows you to create images, beautiful creatives or beautiful images for your campaigns. Tools that allows you to make videos for your campaigns as well, right? Yeah, so those are the tools you should look out to master. In my own case, guys, I have mastered Canva, I have mastered Adobe Premiere Pro, I have mastered Adobe After Effects. I'm currently mastering Illustrator right now. Yeah, I'm not an expert here, but I'm just doing one or two things in Illustrator to get some stuff done, right? But when it comes to Canva, yeah, 9 over 10, right? When it comes to Illustrator, just let's say 2 over 10 at the moment. Premiere Pro, let's say 7 over 10, and let's say 6 over 10. Yeah, there's still room for improvement, right? Yeah, let's say After Effects 5 over 10, and rest of them. So these are some of the tools you should be getting yourself involved or engaged with, right? If you want to be a very good media buying professional, because sometimes your clients may want to cut costs by simply assigning this task to you to run, simply because you are still the same guy who is going to be running this campaign. You should know what kind of creatives you need instead of having a back and forth with a graphic designer or a creative director, not knowing what exactly you want. Since you are going to be the same person running this media campaign, it becomes also very important that you know how to design some of these things yourself, right? Yeah. So these are the tools and technologies that are essential for media buyers in 2025. How do you create a winning strategy for media buying campaigns? Yeah, so there are different strategies that you can adopt when it comes to your media buying journey or as a media buyer, right? So yeah, several strategies, right? But at the end of the day, the long and short of all of this is the fact that your strategy must be tailored towards conversion. Any strategy that does not lead to conversion obviously is a strategy that has been crafted to fail, right? For instance, your strategy must be crafted to get leads, right? I mean, people signing up, filling your form, and things that look like leads, maybe subscribing to your email, right? Your strategy also may also lead to people outrightly putting their hands in their wallets and buying what product or service you offer, right? So whatever strategy you put together as a media buyer, it must be centered around conversion, right? It must be tailored towards conversion, right? So now, what are the strategies that you can employ as a media buyer? One of the very many strategies that you can employ may simply be the lead magnet strategy, right? So once again, you may understand strategy in several different means. You may understand strategy in several different ways, but ideally or categorically, for my own years of experience, when I apply things like the lead magnet, giving out a bait, giving out something that allows someone to take a desired conversion action and converting as lead, right? This has been a strategy that has worked for most of my media buying activities. So let's say, for instance, on the landing page, I may have something like click on this particular link right now to download this particular ebook for free, right? That also becomes a message for all my media campaigns, right? That also becomes a message on my creatives, on my ad copy, right, and on my landing page also, and stuff like that. So once again, there are different strategies you can employ. You can employ the reduced pricing. A minute, guys. You can employ the reduced pricing, right? Yeah. So you can give discount. Let's say, for instance, you are offering something at $10, right? But if anybody takes action right now, they can get this particular thing for $6, right? This also goes into your creative. It goes into your copy. It goes into your landing page also, right? So once again, there are different strategies you can employ for your media buying campaigns. Once again, it all depends on what your client actually wants, right? You may need to simply have this discussion with your client to understand what exactly they want. Once again, also, you can simply A/B test, right? So let's say, for instance, your client does not understand what all of these things mean. You can simply A/B test out various strategies to see which one actually works for your client's needs, right? So yeah, what are the most common mistakes media buyers make, and how can they be avoided? One of the very many mistakes media buyers make is thinking that they can actually get a specific type of result. Yeah, so let's say, for instance, you are running a campaign and you are so confident that I'm going to be getting 50 leads from this campaign. That may not work sometimes, right? Because you don't manage or you don't control what happens on these platforms, right? You don't control Facebook, you don't own Facebook, you don't own Twitter, you don't own Instagram. You can simply play with what they have set up, right? The rules they have set up. So don't make the mistake of thinking that you can give your client an exact figure, right? It doesn't work like that, right? Sometimes you can plan so well and then fail at the end of the day. I mean, fail to actualize or to accomplish that particular desire that you have for your campaign, because you don't control these platforms. You don't also control their inner workings, how they are how they are structured, right? You can simply play alongside with what they have set together, they have put together on the platform, right? So also a failure to understand that all these platforms or most of these platforms are simply advert auctioning platforms, right, is a mistake most media buyers make. For instance, Facebook is an advert auctioning platform. TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, search campaign on Google, display, performance marks, and the rest of them, they are simply advert auctioning platforms. And this simply means that the highest bidder sometimes wins the game. It is what it is, guys. If you have a very deep pocket, you stand a better chance to win on these platforms, right? If you have a very robust budget, you stand a higher chance of winning on these platforms. Let's say, for instance, a guy wants to spend $50. That's an example anyways. A guy wants to spend $50 on promoting his e-commerce store in a month, and another guy is willing to spend $100,000. The disparity is just there. I mean, the margin is wide, right? So if you have $50 and you are trying to compete with a guy that wants to spend $100,000, you don't stand a chance, right? You don't stand a chance. And this is one of the mistakes most aspiring media buyers must look forward to avoiding, and some mistakes existing media buyers like myself in the past made, right? Thinking that we could get the same result that a guy with a higher budget also got. It doesn't happen. It doesn't, right? If you want to get result for your media buying campaigns, you must be willing to spend, right? You must be willing to spend, and of course also apart from spending, you must be willing also to make adjustments, right? Which is a big mistake most media buyers make, and a big mistake you must avoid if you want to launch a successful career as a digital media buyer, right? So yeah, you must be willing to make adjustments to your campaign. Your campaign may not go as you have always wanted it to be. That is why the place of continuous adjustment is going to be very important, right? You need to make adjustments to the creative, right? Which is why you need to know how to design some of these creatives yourself, so you don't end up disturbing or always calling on the creative director or the creative designer to give you images, right? If you can do this yourself, sit down and craft out something by yourself and upload, right? So you should be willing to make changes to your creatives continuously. You should be willing to make changes to your ad copies continuously. You should be willing to make changes to your audiences, right? So your audiences, the current audiences you are targeting may not give you the result you are looking for, which is why you need to make adjustments to your audience targeting, your audience selection, right? So at whatever point in time you are watching this particular video, please note this very importantly, right? One mistake you must avoid if you are looking forward to building a widely successful career as a digital media buyer is the fact that you must be willing to make adjustments, right, to your campaign over time. I mean, continuously, right? So at some points you may need to make adjustments. At some other point, you may not necessarily need to make adjustments to your campaign, right? All right. So now, apart from this, also you must love data, right? Yeah, data is one big thing for media buyers. your campaign will obviously pull out some figures, right? You will see some figures in your campaign, but you must be willing to learn how to interpret these figures and make informed decisions from these figures, right? Yeah, so analytics is a big part of media buying, and you must love it, right? You may not necessarily know how to do it at the beginning, at the onset. In my own case, I struggled with campaign analytics, right, until I was able to get it correctly, or until I was able to get it right. So analytics is very important. It's a big mistake you must not make, right? I mean, not liking analytics is a big mistake you must never make. If you are looking forward to building a successful career as a media buying professional, right? So just a minute, I'll be right back. Let me have some sips. All right. So, how do you measure success of a media buying campaign? It all boils down to what your arrangement is with your client or your employer. Your employer may say, "Oh, we want 100,000 leads in 4 months, and we are willing to spend $200,000 for this." Yeah, that's just, let's just say, an estimate, right? Yeah. So, uh, if the client does not necessarily communicate sales to you, let's say the only thing they want is leads. We want to generate X amount of lead in X amount of time, right? And this is how much we are willing to spend. If you are able to hit that number, that is success, right? That exactly is success, right? So don't make the mistake also of thinking that because you did not hit that particular number, then your campaign was a failure. No. Sometimes some factors may have bedeviled your campaign and hampered its success, right? Now, let's say, for instance, you ran a campaign and you were thinking your audiences, or maybe your audiences, the audience that you have mapped out before, were this from this age to this age, and this is their location, this is their interest, and all of that, and you have targeted them, and also you were advised not to A/B test, right? Not to A/B test different other audience types and all of that, simply because the client was confident that this is who our ideal audiences are. Yeah, if the campaign comes out not looking good, it may not be your fault, right? It may not be your fault, right? Yeah, so in order to avoid some of these big mistakes or costly mistakes in media buying, if you are looking forward to building a career in media buying, you must do A/B testing, right? You must test out various things, right? You must test out your audiences, test out various audiences. You must A/B test with different creatives. You must A/B test with different ad copies, right? Just so that you don't make the mistake of not achieving your result. Now, what does result look like in media buying? Once again, depending on the arrangement you have with your client, result may simply be generating leads, right? We want this X amount of lead in 6 months. We want this X amount of sales in this number of months, right? So yeah, leads or sales, return on ad spend becomes a result. And if this happens, then your media buying campaign is successful. I mean, 100% successful, right? Once again, there are several factors to put into consideration, right? If you did not achieve your result, looking at the data that has been collected from the advert, you can make decisions. You can actually find out what went wrong and quickly correct them, right? And probably rerun a second version of this campaign, or this particular campaign, right? So result may be leads, it may be return on ad spend, it may be lowering your CPC, right? It may be maybe the number of people you are able to reach with your campaign also, right? So this may simply be the types of results that you have in media buying. All right. So now the next question I have here from some of my friends are, what are the top industries hiring media buyers in 2025, and what do they look for? Yeah, so let me show you one company I saw recently, right? Yeah, just a minute. All right, so now let's get to some hiring companies in 2025, right? Yeah, so here we have some of these guys here. So one particular platform where I go to get some of my jobs, my media buying jobs, are on Well Found, right? So Well Found is sure to help you get media buying jobs or roles, right? So yeah, this particular company here, Kido Space, Kido Space is actually hiring and they are willing to pay a good amount of money for this right here. So Soar with us, Zipa, and rest of them. So you can be sure to get jobs on this platform. And one other platform I like to use or to search for jobs on every time is We Work Remotely. We Work Remotely right here gives us the opportunity also of getting jobs, media buying jobs, right? If you search for media buy, right, and search for media buy right here, you will see available media buying jobs from We Work Remotely. Now look at this here. This one says Z3 media buyer, right? Media buyer, and of course look at the countries where these guys are actively searching for media buyers from. So yeah, this guy here, if you click on this one, you will see what these guys want right here. So Z3 Media, optimizing campaigns, launching and scaling, data-driven insight, testing and experimentation, who you are, detail-oriented, risk-tolerant, methodical thinker, right? Yeah. Yeah, that almost got my tongues there. So methodical thinker, right? We've got skills we are looking for, analytical tools or skills, right? Experience in media buying campaign management is a bonus. Proficiency with online advertising platforms like Facebook ads, Google ads, right? So familiarity with creative tools like Adobe Suite, Canva is a plus, right? Excellent English communication and the rest of them. So yeah, this is what these guys want, right? Yeah, I may simply apply for this also. If you're also interested, you can join me in doing this also, right? Yeah, so these are some of the companies that are hiring. There are several of them, obviously. You can do well to look for them online and you will see them. There are so many. There are so many of them. All right. So now let's move on to the next one. The next question I get asked every time, right? So now the next question I get asked every time is how can beginners start a career in media buying with little or no experience? Yeah, so there are several ways by which you can start a successful career as a media buyer in 2025. And one of them obviously is by simply taking a course, right? Which is usually the fastest. I mean, the fastest way by which you can become a media buyer in 2025 and earn big also, right? Yeah, so yeah, guys, this particular video I know it was meant to simply give you insight into media buying career in 2025, but of course I do also have a course, a media buying course that walks you through everything you need to know about media buying. And one good thing about my course is the fact that I also give internship opportunity after the course, right? Yeah, so you may simply need to reach out to me in the comment section and then let's have a discussion around how you can get started and of course what specific discount I'm giving to you, right? So my course is complete. I mean very detailed. born out of my 10 years of personal experience, right, doing some of these things. All right. So yeah, I simply get to prepare for media buying career in my course, covering everything: search, Google, display, performance marks, merchant center, shopping, and of course all the social media platforms, adverts, right? Yeah, and of course internship opportunity as well. So this is how one of the ways by which you can get into media buying, by simply taking courses. Yeah, not necessarily my course, anyways, right? You can take courses from Facebook, Meta, right, and of course Hotspot and several other places also. It all depends on your priorities, right, your preferences. All right. So now the next question I have here is, what is the future of media buying, and how will AI and automation tools shape this particular career? Yeah, so the future of media buying is bright. Believe me when I say this, it is very bright, right? The media buyers earn currently as high as $4,000 per month if you get the right gigs. I'm speaking from personal experience, guys, right? So yeah, there has been instances when short gigs brought in as much as $4,000, right, in a month, right? So yeah, you want to take your time, right, and apply to the right ones. It may not come every time, right? From personal experience, it may not come every time, but when it does come, media buyers earn as much as $6,000, $4,000 to $8,000, right, monthly as salaries, right? So you want to take your time to apply to the right ones. Once again, yeah, you want to take your time to apply to the right ones. Once again, right, and you will see how these things actually work, right? So now to wrap up this whole thing, to wrap up this whole discussion, how lucrative is media buying really? Once again, it depends on what lucrativeness means to you, right? Lucrativeness may simply mean maybe the time it takes you to complete a task and rest and have your well-deserved rest. Maybe lucrativeness may mean the amount, the figure that you want to earn every month from working on this particular job. Yeah, so it all depends on what to define as lucrativeness, right? But of course, generally speaking, yes, media buying is highly lucrative and of course less competitive. Not very many persons have the guts to get into media buying. Not very many persons have the guts to delve into media buying, right? Which is what makes it less competitive and more attractive. I mean financially. Yeah, so you can earn as much as $4,000 every month from being a media buyer. If you get if you get into an organization, I have not got into any organization myself that hired me permanently as a media buyer. It's been gigs, I mean freelance gigs here and there, right? Yeah, so you may want to get yourself into an organization that pays you consistently for the next, let's say, 4 years, right? $6,000 every month, right? And of course, this is very easy to actualize because, once again, media buying is less competitive compared to other areas of digital marketing. And the reasons are obvious, right? The reasons are obvious. Not very many persons like information, not very many persons like analytics, right? Not very many persons like data, which is why a lot of persons run very, very far away from media buying, right? So if you love data yourself, if you are patient enough to do A/B testing, setting up various A/B testing, right? Setting up various carrying out various hypotheses to see which of the things you have done or you have set up is working and the one that is not working. Yeah, you may do well in media buying, right? Media buying, once again, comprises of A/B testing, designing of creatives, running advert on various platforms, analyzing this data to ensure that your campaign is doing well and all of that. So yeah, if you are this guy, then a career in media buying is going to be worth it at the end of the day. So once again, thank you so much for making it down to my live stream, right? Yeah, I want to make these live streams once every day, right? I've got the strength, I've got the resources also, and I've got the space also to run my live stream. So I do hope you will join me in my next, right? I'm not perfect yet. I'm still trying to make my live stream as professional as possible, right? Of course, once again, I want to make it also very interactive and as natural as it can possibly be, right? Yeah, so let me have your questions in the comment section when you watch this video. If you have any specific question, reach out to me in the comment section, drop them, I will reach out to you, right? If you want me to make a live stream for any area of digital marketing, yes, I will do that, right? I'll gladly do that for you, right? Yeah, so once again, motivate me by subscribing on my platform and turn on also the notification bell so that when next I make videos like this, you will not miss out on them. Until next time, guys, let's call it a wrap from here. Bye for now.